Kent Bazemore. The Raptors, Nuggets and Bucks have all improved dramatically over last season, though it must be noted that the Raptors' foibles have always been playoff-related rather than regular season issues. The Warriors are, to the chagrin of everyone, still the Warriors and are starting down the barrel of DeMarcus Cousins returning from an Achilles rupture last season. All that to say, they're still the favorite to win the championship this season. Still, the Hawks have looked better than expected in recent weeks, and the team's young players seem to be gaining confidence and building chemistry ahead of a few more seasons of losing, unless they manage to draft Zion Williamson or R.J. Barrett this offseason. All that being said, the Hawks do still have some attractive trade pieces. Sure, the veterans might have the most immediate impact, but the Atlanta Hawks do still have some valuable young players that don't quite mesh with the team's extremely youthful timeline. And even though other teams might not like it, the Atlanta Hawks could swing a few deals that would benefit the top 4 teams in the league if they wanted to. Read on to explore 4 trade ideas for the Atlanta Hawks to consider for the best teams in the NBA: Bucks, Raptors, Nuggets and Warriors. Page 2 OG Anunoby Atlanta Hawks, photo by Harry Aaron, Getty Images. With any of these deals, the main goal for the Atlanta Hawks should be obtain draft picks. Beyond that, if the Hawks can obtain a young player that matches their timeline without affecting a quality draft pick, they should certainly be willing to listen to deals like this one. While the Hawks would certainly be giving up a fair bit on their end, the inclusion of OG Anunoby as a direct swap with Taurean Prince, in addition to a first-round draft pick, make this an attractive trade for the Hawks. CJ Miles has seemingly fallen out of the Raptors' rotation with the arrival of Danny Green on the roster, and Norman Powell, though playing well of late, would have to be included as salary fodder in order to nab both Kent Bazemore and Dwayne Dedmon from the Hawks. With Baze, Dedmon and Prince on the Raptors, they would be the clear favorites in the Eastern Conference, and would allow the Raptors to trot out switchable, versatile lineups that would torment even the Warriors. The draft pick's protection might be heightened if the Raptors are forced to give up Anunoby, but the Hawks are terrible on defense, and there's where Og shines. Now on to the Bucks trade. Page 3 Use your arrows to browse George Hill. Who says no, Bucks fans? Just kidding, here's the real one. The Milwaukee Bucks are clearly in win-now mode now that Hawks expat Mike Budenholzer and transcendent talent Giannis Antetokounmpo have teamed up in Wisconsin. The team has already made a deal to shed the salary of John Henson due to the rise of Brook Lopez as the game's preeminent 7-foot-plus long-range bomber. However, that means that recent draft pick and tantalizing talent Thon Maker has been marginalized due to his inability to hit an open corner 3. Enter the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks should be in the market for players such as Maker, who seem to not fit the timeline or play style of their current team. For the Bucks, Bud would be reunited with his former rangy wing Bazemore, who broke out during Bud's tenure with the Hawks into one of the team's best two-way players. While it's unclear whether Prince and Bud got along, sideline interactions seemed to indicate they did not. The Hawks would likely be willing to include other players, such as Justin Anderson or even DeAndre Bembry, to get this deal done. While George Hill is definitely a solid player for the Bucks, Baze is a clear upgrade, and the ball will be in the Greek Freak's hands more often than not come playoff time. Beyond that, Eric Bledsoe and Malcolm Brogdon can capably run a pick-and-roll too. Final note, this deal could not be completed in its current form until February 6, one day ahead of the trade deadline, due to Hill being traded once already this season. Use your arrows to browse.